Welcome to the Transform Your Wedding podcast, a how-to guide for taking your wedding to a whole new level. Here's your host, Marie Kubin from Rent My Wedding.
Hey guys, we are continuing the series on wedding lighting, and today's topic is string lights. So let's jump right in and talk about this really beautiful type of wedding lighting. So first things first, what are string lights? Well, this is probably one of the most familiar types of wedding lighting, so I'm sure you've seen it. Of course, it's the strings with the big bulbs that are hanging in the air. They're also called market lights or bistro lights. Now, if you've seen the type of lighting that has the really tiny bulbs, those are actually something different, and those are called fairy lights. So string lights have the big bulbs and fairy lights have the tiny bulbs. Let's talk about where you can use string lights. So of course, the most popular is to string them overhead outdoors. This looks so beautiful if you're doing an outdoor wedding or maybe even a backyard wedding. It just instantly dresses up an outdoor space. And it's so magical too. I think that string lights just create this romantic vibe that is so perfect for setting the mood. You can also use string lights indoors. So this is great if you have an indoor reception venue, but you kind of want to bring out that magical feeling of an outdoor wedding. So you can string those lights from the ceiling or maybe just put them over the dance floor area. It's going to look really gorgeous for your first dance. You can also use string lights for backdrops. This is something a little different and it's kind of an industrial type of look. So what you do is you can actually hang those string lights and kind of twist them around so that you've got rows of string lights that are hanging straight down. You could just hang the string lights or you can pair it with some linens and that's going to look really beautiful behind your sweetheart table or the photo booth. So if you want to do something a little different, try using string lights on your backdrop. So when it comes to fairy lights, you can use these in all the same places that you would use string lights. You can have them overhead, indoors or outdoors, or on the backdrop. It just creates a little bit of a different look. Since the bulbs are so tiny, I think it looks kind of like twinkling stars. It's really magical. You can also use fairy lights on your table linens. So this is really pretty for your head table. What you do is you put the fairy lights under your table linens and then you're going to see these little twinkling lights glow through the fabric. Next, let's talk about how to set up string lights. So it's really easy. It's pretty much just a matter of plugging them in. And then you want to make sure that you've got places that you can hang them. So if you're doing this outdoors, look for trees or the side of the building. And those are going to be good spots to secure the ends of the string lights. You can also use poles or different supports like that. Some people do a do-it-yourself thing where they fill a bucket with cement, they stick a PVC pipe in there, and that creates a pole that you can use for hanging the string lights, which is great if you're in, say, a backyard or somewhere where you just don't have anything else that you can hang the string lights onto. Now, if you're setting up these string lights on a backdrop, it's a little bit different. So what you can do there is use safety pins to secure them to the linens. So you can take the first end of the string light, secure it up at the top, and then start looping it around the backdrop and just use safety pins as you go to keep it in place and keep that kind of design that you want with the lights. The same thing goes for fairy lights. If you're using them on the head table, you could use safety pins or there's even different fabric tapes that you can use to secure those lights onto the linens. So next, let's talk about how to estimate the quantity of string lights. So this one is pretty easy. When you go to get your string lights, they're going to come in a certain length. So they might come in 25 foot or 50 foot or 100 foot lengths. So just make sure you know ahead of time what size it is that you're getting. And then check your venue and see how much you need to cover. So let's say you've got a dance floor that's 25 feet wide and you want to do 4 rows of string lights. It's pretty simple. You just need to get 4 25-foot long string lights. So that's all it takes. You just measure the space in your venue and then compare it with the size of string lights that you're ordering. Before we go, let's talk about how to get string lights. So this is a type of lighting that you can either buy it or rent it. So you can buy string lights, you can go to a lighting vendor, or you can even rent do-it-yourself string lights. So I definitely recommend, if you're not going to use them again, you could just rent them. And it's really easy to set this up yourself. You can save tons of money with do-it-yourself setup. So definitely check out the do-it-yourself string light rentals. Now, if you're doing that through our company, for example, over at Rent My Wedding, the way it works is that you would just order on the website and everything gets delivered right to your door. You set up your string lights, and then after the wedding, you put them back in the same box and send them back. The shipping is always free both ways nationwide. So that's a look at everything you need to know about string lights. I hope you guys enjoy getting this really beautiful look for your wedding. And don't forget to check out all of our podcast episodes over at transformyourwedding.com. All right, I will see you guys next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Rent My Wedding, your one-stop shop for event rentals. Order online and rentals are delivered right to your door. Shipping is free both ways nationwide. Rent lighting, backdrops, photo booths, and more. With the most 5-star reviews in the industry, Rent My Wedding makes rentals easy and affordable. Book your rentals today at www.rentmywedding.com.